See, when I tell people that conflict really is a gift, they think I'm crazy. But what I've learned is that life responds to people who are not afraid to look conflict right in the eye. You got to look at conflict and see what it is for what it is. Because hitting within every aspect of conflict is the ability to grow and for personal development. Conflict is simply two opposing forces. So regardless of what those forces are, once you identify them, then you can learn to navigate them and you can embrace them. Y'all know Allen Iverson. I'm a Philly girl, so there we go. Allen Iverson. Was Allen Iverson, in 1996 is when he was drafted to the 76ers, but was he their greatest accomplishment, or was he their worst nightmare? The truth is, Allen Iverson was really a wonderful choice in them, but he was a ball of conflict. So because he was so much conflict, he ended up being just turmoil for the team. And then we have practice. Y'all remember the whole infamous practice fury? We're talking about practice. Iverson was the one who had given all that he had, and he couldn't understand why they would be talking about practice. And then we have Iverson. He decides, you know what? The honeymoon's over. I'm ready to go. He wanted to be traded. He demanded to be traded, and when he demanded to be traded, the Sixers decided, you know what? We're tired of playing this game. We're going to kick him out of here and let him go. See, the deal is just wanting it to work or wanting to win is not enough. You have to learn the tools of conflict in order to navigate conflict and bring out the desired result. Now, the first thing of conflict is things start getting touchy. People get touchy. People get sensitive. They're hypersensitive. Things that would normally not mean anything or would not matter all of a sudden become an issue. And then we've got that whole silent thing. I don't know how many of you are married, but sometimes you get into that silent mode where you try to avoid your spouse. Well, imagine taking that whole thought process into the business world. It just doesn't work. And then you have people going from touchy to silent to just downright pissed. When people get pissed, meetings get chaotic, people start attacking each other, and you just can't really get any business done because people are pissed. So what, is that a deal breaker or a deal enhancer? What if we really embrace the beautiful gift that conflict is and we just grew from it and we adapted what it is? It's inspirational. It's not necessarily a fight all the time. And if we embrace what conflict really is, the fact that we're moving, that we're progressing, then we can really benefit from the blessing of conflict. Nothing makes conflict worse than when we make people choose. We make our coworkers choose sides. We make the management team choose sides. Let's just grow up and be adults. We should be able to disagree without becoming disagreeable. Now, conflict at its root is not good or bad. It's a symptom. And when you go to the doctor, they can't diagnose you until they gather a list of what? Symptoms. And that's what you have to do with conflict. You have to see what's really going on. Now, conflict, if it's not good or bad, then what is it? Conflict is an identifier. It helps you know whether you should keep going the same way you've been going with the same people that you've been going with. Conflict helps you negotiate that and renegotiate whether this is a good deal or it's beneficial for both parties. Now, conflict reveals it reveals that there's another level of investigation that needs to happen. If we're going to investigate, we got to figure out the why behind this, right? Because the what doesn't really matter if we don't know the why. Now, that means you got to dig a little deeper. Digging a little deeper means you have to go a little further. You got to get underground and figure out the root of this problem. We've dealt with the symptoms. We see people are angry, but what's the root of it? That's how you really navigate and manage conflict. Conflict reveals that somebody is in transition. When people are in transition, you got all kinds of emotions that are rearing up. You got to deal with that stuff. You can't hide your emotions under the rug because if you keep putting stuff under the rug, somebody's going to trip and fall. Now, when conflict arises, what you don't want to do is get offended. Offended means to literally be knocked off your end. That means if you get offended, then that means you lose focus, you lose sight of where you're going, and you're just in it for the mess. Don't get caught up in the drama without remembering why you were there in the first place. Now, conflict reveals the true foundation of any relationship, whether it's business or personal. Did we build this on solid ground, or is it built on shallow ground? Because if it's built on shallow ground, it's not going to last. When conflict arises, bam, it's over. Bridges can be scary. How many of y'all agree with that? Conflict deals with relationships. Relationships are bridges to your next point in life. And they can be scary. In Hampton Roads, we've got a lot of bridges. And if we don't navigate them properly, they can be scary. Now, this is the real deal with it. Once you figure out what conflict is, you got to decide how you're going to respond to it. There are a lot of benefits to conflict. Conflict is really a gift. The real deal is, how will you respond to it? Thank you.
Awesome. You nailed it.